Whoa! Netflix's WBD deal faces growing doubt. Gee, who knew that it would catch the whole sign on fire if they tried to buy Warner Brothers? Oh, well. Anyway, Netflix's chances of closing a deal for Warner Brothers Discovery appear to be slipping as rival bids and new financial guarantees from Paramount Skydance shake up the race. Netflix odds slide on Polymarket. Well, you got to put up those caution wet floor signs up so that it doesn't happen. Anyway, according to Polymarket, a decentralized prediction market where users bet on real-world outcomes, the odds of Netflix completing a deal for Warner Brothers Discovery have fallen sharply. The market now puts Netflix's chances at 61%, down from 80% just days ago, signaling growing skepticism among traders that a deal gets done. Likewise, on the Kalshi app, the odds of Netflix successfully taking over Warner Brothers are only at 53%, while Paramount's odds have been raised to 44%. The shift comes as competing offers gain momentum and questions surface about valuation and deal structure. So, Paramount, huh? Following reported concerns from the WBD board, Paramount disclosed in an SEC filing that Larry Ellison has personally stepped in to backstop financing tied to the competing bid. Larry Ellison has agreed to provide an irrevocable personal guarantee of $40.4 billion of the equity financing for the offer and any damages claims against Paramount. Good Lord. That's a lot of money. The move strengthens the Ellison-backed proposal and raises pressure on Warner Brothers Discovery's board as it weighs competing paths forward, because they were calling foul on it, saying, hey, Paramount can't guarantee their financing. Well, So according to New York Post business reporter Charles Gasparino, insiders believe Warner Brothers Discovery may still view Netflix's offers as superior, despite the Ellison guarantee. Gasparino reports that Netflix's cash stock proposal includes additional value tied to the equity stub from a cable asset spinout, which would include CNN and Discovery as a new publicly traded company. It's reported that WBD is valuing that equity stub at around $4 per share, pushing the effective value of the Netflix deal close to $32 per share. The Ellison Group reportedly argues that valuation is inflated, especially, it's the legacy stuff they're trying to dump. Anyway, claiming anything above $2 per share is unrealistic, even as they signal a willingness to raise their bid by up to 10% and cover any Netflix breakup fee. Okay. Gasparino also notes there are limits to how far Netflix is willing to go, especially given its recent stock performance. If the Ellison-backed bid climbs into the mid-$30 range, sources for Gasparino inside WBD say the company would be duty-bound to seriously consider shifting course. With multiple offers in play and market confidence wavering, the outcome of the WBD deal is becoming far less certain. Update. Warner Brothers Discovery Board of Directors says it will carefully review and consider Paramount's revised bid for the company. The company confirmed it received the updated tender offer on Monday evening. Warner Brothers Discovery will review the amended tender offer and advise its stockholders of the board's recommendation after the completion of that review. The company said, adding that the board, consistent with its fiduciary duties and in consultation with its independent financial and legal advisors, will carefully review and consider Paramount Skydance's offer in accordance with the terms of Warner Brothers Discovery's agreement with Netflix Inc. Thanks. So how about that, huh? So one wonders, with well, of course, they said the balking at Paramount's bid was that they didn't really believe they had the backing, financially for it. And then here comes Daddy with his massive billions. And so, whoops, okay. But with Zaslav favoring Netflix, one couldn't help but think of some amount of shenanigans and what does he individually get? So the deal with Netflix would be individually better for him, whereas Paramount not so much. But for the shareholders, the Netflix deal, the Paramount deal, is obviously better. Overall, in the hopes that some sort of theatrical release industry could survive, the chances are better with Paramount than Netflix. I don't care what Netflix promises. They've shown no interest for that model. And sure, in the recent time, there would be, or should I say the immediate time should they secure the company, there would be some theatrical releases. But going forward from that, I don't think so. With Paramount, they seem pretty gung-ho. They want 30 movies a year released just out of Paramount alone. So, it's bad all around because this is a sign of, failure. This will be the third time Warner Brothers has had to be sold. So, it's not great. And, but between the two, Paramount's the better option. Will they get it? Well, just on the numbers, it seems like they should, but I don't know. They wanted this done before Christmas. Well, boy, is it down to the wire. So, they're going to review it. So that's the deal. Who's the best superhero? Well, Batman's the most popular out of this collection. But Superman started the whole thing, so I don't know. Batman wins. Sorry, Superman, but that's how that goes. Yeah. In the meantime, where are you guys going to end up? I don't know. Netflix? Paramount? Well, stay tuned. All right, the MCU is rolling out their trailers and then pulling them down immediately. Well, the leaks, of course, But pretty soon you're going to see all of them. Right off the bat, the first one was the Captain America one. And now we have a poster for Avengers Doomsday. Marvel Studios officially released the first Why can't I speak? Marvel Studios has officially released the first poster for Avengers Doomsday, teasing the beginning of its marketing rollout for the next Avengers event film. Well, except for the first one, I guess, every Avengers movie was an event film. Yes. So Doomsday is coming December 18th. 2026, Marvel Studios posted on social media, alongside the image which features a dark, green-lit design forming the Avengers A, hinting at Doctor Doom's influence over the story. Well, yeah. The poster marks the first official piece of key art for the film and arrives shortly after Marvel began debuting character-focused teaser trailers in theaters. So, look, you can go watch the Steve Rogers. So, give it a while. You'll see the Thor one. There's a Thor one. And then the Doctor Doom one. That'll be the last one. And, of course, that'll, at least Well, I mean, it's Robert Downey Jr., but I mean, it's a character you haven't really seen in action before, except at the teaser of Fantastic Four, I guess. But anyway, so this is the one where he's on a motorcycle, and the rumors about these all came true. And that he rides up to the house, he gets out, you don't see who is it, but you already know. And he walks in. You see the Captain America suit. He's kind of folding it. Looks like he's putting it in the trunk, or maybe he took it out of the trunk. I don't know. And then he's got a baby, and he picks up his baby and smiles at the baby. He says, "Oh, it's Steve Rogers." And then it fades to black and says Steve Rogers will return in Avengers Doomsday. So there you go. And there's the thing. So you really can't blame him why he stayed in the past and lived all those years, because he got to be with Haley Atwell. I mean, you would too. Yes, you would. So I don't see why Dr. Doom is so pissed off about that. He has to understand. Supposedly that's the plot, yeah. Steve Rogers messed up time. And Dr. Doom is pissed off about that. But anyway, so eventually the Thor one will roll out. And, the Dr. Doom one. Is there a fourth one? I don't think so. But anyway, but if you want to see them in theaters, you got to go see Avatar, Fire and Ass. No, thank you. Wait a minute. Does that say Trump? Trump on his motorcycle? In this world, Trump produced a motorcycle company? I don't know. Anyway, there's the poster. You see the designs are all kind of sort of weird and stuff, but it's all green, because Dr. Doom's cape is, it's green. I don't really know what they do look some kind, but I don't know. You've probably seen them 100 times in other stuff, but I don't know if this has anything to do with the place Kang was hanging out, at whatever. But anyway, the Avengers Doomsday poster follows the first teaser centered on Chris Evans, Steve Rogers, which has been playing again with Avatar, Fire and Ass. According to reports, Marvel is rolling out a serialized set of character teasers ahead of the full trailer, released weekly, with Avatar in theaters. So this week, Steve Rogers, the real Captain America. Sorry, but that's true. Next preview is set to focus on Chris Hemsworth's Thor, followed by Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Well, I understood they would both be in the same teaser. Or maybe that makes it 4. Maybe so. Maybe, Loki. But, gee, if you did your homework that you were required to do to be a true MCU fan, then at the end of season 2 of Loki's show, he ended up being, the people are saying the god of stories, but I saw it as the god of time, that he ended up sitting on the throne and holding all the different lines that connect the multiverse and all that crap. So, of course, here you have this culmination of a multiverse saga, which they never were able to structure and do right because of all the problems. Nobody cared for it. And plus, their main actor playing Kang got into a scandal. And so they just, instead of recasting him, which would have been the easiest thing to do, now they decided to scrap it and hurry up and get Dr. Doom in there. Well, not just any old Dr. Doom. You had to get Robert Downey Jr. and pay him enough money to make 2 movies, but just to pay him alone for that. Because, oh my God, are they desperate. So, it's just, I don't know. There's no way this will be all that compelling as it was back in the good old days leading up to Infinity War. They just don't have anything to do that. And that's the terrible thing about it. Now, if the rumors hold up that right off the bat, Doomsday just ends the post-Endgame movies, except, I guess, Spider-Man. They'll probably keep that one. Everything else, none of it happened anymore. It's all gone. And, well, that could go a long way to getting people interested somewhat, maybe, but I don't know. So anyway, so there you go. The final one will be Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. Now, some of this is like laying these teasers are going to have to lay the groundwork that none of the movies did. And so probably the Dr. Doom teaser specifically will be the most important one. because, he hasn't been introduced. There's been nothing laid down about it. Thanos, he would have teasers and stuff, and then he had, a little bit more than cameos and Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that before he showed up and became the main character for Infinity War. And there's none of that for Doctor Doom. There's just a brief little scene of him from behind in Fantastic Four, and that's it. So, yeah, so this teaser is going to have to set the stage so you're all caught up and ready to go for Avengers Doomsday. So after this, the actual trailer will follow. So there you go. You've got a whole year to get ready. In between that will be Spider-Man, which I'm sure they'll have some nods to this in the end credits of Spider-Man leading into Doomsday, because that's all there is left. Speaking of Spider-Man, well, let's check in on that. Yes, the trailer leaked online, and I saw that one too. I will not try to play it. Apparently there's a better version of it, but it's gone. So, and the one I saw, it wasn't all that great to see, but I get the idea of what's going on. So, Sadie Sink is in it. She's playing some sort of menacing figure towards Spider-Man. Now she knows his real name and all that. So this leads more to credence to the rumor that she's possibly the new Jean Grey. And this is the MCU's version of her, and will be introduced through the Spider-Man movie and all that. Possibly that she can read his mind and that sort of thing, although I remember her being mostly having telekinesis powers. I think eventually she developed mind-reading powers. But anyway, they never were a stickler for the lore. So you get that. Then there's elements in it. Of course, other cameos are perhaps a little more than that. Is he meets up with Bruce Banner, and this ties into a typical Spider-Man trope. There's something wrong with his powers, and there's a nod to it that there's life cycles of spiders, so he's having some sort of mutation. You go back to when Spider-Man mutated, and he was trying to get rid of his powers. He screwed up, and he ended up having 2 extra arms and legs, so he was 8-legged, like spiders, And this coincided with Morbius, stuff like that. The 90s Spider-Man cartoon did a pretty good adaptation of the narrative. So they're going to borrow some of that and put that in the film. Ordinarily, he would probably seek out Kurt Connors, but he was never introduced except for the alternate universe version of him. So there's none of that established because you didn't get much Spider-Man stories in MCU Spider-Man movies until that last one. It's the first time Tom Holland really got to play Peter Parker and all that. So hopefully a good bit of those elements are still present in this very crowded movie. But so instead of Kurt Connors, he goes to Bruce Banner. So you'd see Bruce Banner in the trailer. So he seeks his help for the problems he's having. And the rumor is that something with Sadie Sink, possibly Jean Grey, causes Bruce Banner's Savage Hulk persona to come back, which would all be for the best. People want Savage Hulk. They don't care about, hipster Hulk. So anyway, and then finally at the end, Punisher shows up, and they have a little comical back and forth while they're fighting bad guys and whatnot. So there you go. It is quite the cluster with that many characters coming and going, plus his own cast. He starts off missing MJ, and he writes a little letter to her. I guess he doesn't really mean to send it to her, but whatever. And that sort of thing. So, okay, all that. But this movie is probably the one movie they have left that's probably going to be profitable. Now, the Doomsday thing, just out of the curiosity, maybe they're trying to hype it up with these teasers and stuff, but apparently Avatar, Fire and Ass isn't doing that great, so people aren't showing up to see it. But I don't know. Maybe there'll be a lot of reaction to when they finally release it on YouTube and stuff like that. And they can judge interest on that. But man, they dropped the ball so much. I just don't think this Hail Mary pass can restore what they had. They're gonna try, and they're gonna set this up for their new X-Men and all that stuff coming later in the future. But right now, after the movies of this year, which all fizzled, even though compared to the previous slop of post-Endgame movies, with the exception of Spider-Man, those last three movies they had weren't nearly as bad. In fact, some of them I thought were kind of okay. Thunderbolts I actually liked. Fantastic Four, well, it's, it had its gender swap and stupid things like that. But here and there, in better hands, it could have worked, and stuff like that. It's a plot set up to be like a Fantastic Four 3. It's not the one you start off with, because Galactus is a big thing for them to have happen and all that. But Thunderbolts was much better just overall. The Captain America one, well, what do you guys? It's a Hulk movie without Hulk in it. With posing as a Captain America movie without Captain America, I mean, it just, the gimmick of Captain America being replaced by some other guy is something they always did. It's just when they finally did it with Sam Wilson in the comics, it was only done for tokenism and preaching and whatnot. It ended up becoming more racist than the racism they thought they were preaching against in a lot of ways, and they ended up making him racist in a lot of ways. And then the rollout in the TV show, the ethic there, where you have Sam Wilson being sympathetic for a mass murderer. And they do that to their new Captain America. Stupid. And then the movie, which is nowhere near as bad as the show was, but it just... Plus, Sam Wilson built up the character of Falcon. Why is that a problem? And you treat that like that's somehow demeaning or something. Just all around, the whole headset of it and everything is stupid. Anyway, that's that one. But Spider-Man has a shot. A really big shot, But then so what? It says, all right, we're back. We made some money. And then, of course, you have your end credit scene that'll lead you to Doomsday, where I'm guessing either both or one of the other Spider-Men will show up and recruit Peter Parker once again on some multiversal adventure, and Doomsday and all that. And there you go. And I hope that attracts enough people to show up for that. And maybe they can start making their billion-dollar movies again, Which, at this point, will even that make back their money, I don't know. But Spider-Man will probably make back its money, But for this gargantuan Hail Mary pass, well, I don't know. So anyway, Spider-Man. Will Spider-Man save the day? Oh, yeah, there is a scene doing a classic take on that of the, the first cover art. Well, this is a redo of it. But nevertheless, the classic pose of Spider-Man holding some criminal and swinging across the city. Yeah, it's nice, and that's in the trailer, too. So anyway... here's the dialogue that she says. You're a mess, Spider-Man. Don't get in my way. Otherwise, it won't just be your friends who don't remember who Peter Parker is. So, it opens with him. He wrote this letter to MJ. You don't remember me, but we used to be together. Because he's referring to what happened in the last film and all that. So, there we go. No, I will not click on these for even the bad version of the trailer. Because I never know what the rules are. Plus, they're taking them down all the time. You never know. Even though this is probably some stealth means of trying to garner more excitement because they know it's not really there for MCU. There we go. The rumors actually say that Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey, and she is responsible for Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner reverting to the Savage Hulk. And that's not all. It's also said Jean Grey causes Banner to unleash none other than the Grey Hulk. Now that's, Mr. Fix-It, the sort of gangster Hulk. Yeah, well, at least it's something interesting. They should not have done a She-Hulk series. They should have done a Hulk series. Akin to the old Bill Bixby show. Yeah? And he's on the run. He lost control. It's all very tragic. And you could introduce She-Hulk in that. But, yeah, who are we saying? They really didn't know what the hell they were doing. So, too little, too late about a lot of it. So there we go. Spider-Man, yeah. Spider-Man, I think, will do well. Probably really well. But that's good for Spider-Man. Is it good for the MCU? The MCU suffered a lot of wounds. So, anyway, good luck with that. Oscar Isaac Damage Control appears with Kevin Feige in Hot Toys promo. Really? Yeah, it seems Oscar Isaac has, quite the TDS, a Trump bug up his ass. Anyway, Oscar Isaac looks to be doing a little bit of damage control after he refused to sign a fan's Spider-Verse toy. And Kevin Feige may have been the one to step in. Yeah. You like those Marvel checks, do you? Huh? Kevin Feige has delivered a special message celebrating Hot Toys' 25th anniversary, filmed directly from the set of Avengers Doomsday. The Marvel Studios president thanked the collectible company for its long partnership with Marvel while sporting an Infinity War baseball cap. Yeah, remember Infinity War? Remember? Oh, that was cool, huh? Well, we're doing another movie. It's just like it. Come see it. Anyway, the video highlights Marvel's decades-long relationship with Hot Toys, whose ultra-detailed figures have become staples for collectors and fans alike. Well, it's both, isn't it? I mean, who else would collect that stuff? I don't know. Anyway, Feige's message was recorded while on the last day of production on the set of Avengers Doomsday, wearing the Infinity War cap because, gee, I'm hoping this is the new Infinity War. Oh, yeah. Feige thanked Hot Toys for 25 years of collaboration and praised the craftsmanship behind their Marvel figures. Feige said he's the biggest Hot Toys fan there is and buys all the MCU merch. Well, that's nice. He buys the hats, too. But where's your Avengers Doomsday hat, Feige? Anyway, the most unexpected part of the video may be the appearance of Oscar Isaac. The Moon Knight actor also thanked Hot Toys in the anniversary message, which raised eyebrows given reports that Isaac had distanced himself from Disney. So he's holding up a Spider-Man figure. Isaac has been outspoken in recent interviews, and his future with Marvel has remained unclear. Last month, the actor refused to sign a Marvel Spider-Verse toy, which he now shows off in the Hot Toys promo and says is his favorite. No, I'm not doing those Funkos, he told a fan in a video that went viral on TikTok in November. Isaac has reportedly boycotted Disney over how it handled Jimmy Kimmel, referring to Disney as having succumbed to fascism. Maybe the boycott is over? Yeah. Oh, so there he is. No, I'm not doing Spider-Man. Screw you. I guess he would sign, like, Frankenstein stuff. I don't know. Anyway, fans also spotted several notable collectibles featured in the video, including figures and merch tied to Dr. Doom and the Fantastic Four. So there you go. Doom's got, well, red plates, but he smashed his fist through the middle of it. It's not really. Come on, Dr. Doom. Hey, he has people. Oh, he's Dr. Doom. He said, now try to eat off these. Yeah. Anyway, those characters are widely reported to play major roles in Avengers Doom's. Well, certainly Dr. Doom. Yeah. Anyway, making their presence in the Hot Toys Showcase hard to ignore. The merch lineup adds fuel to speculation about how central Doom and the Fantastic Four will be to Marvel's next Avengers event. So I guess Moon Knight's gonna be in Doomsday. I don't see Oscar in the cast, so maybe Secret Wars. I don't know. Yeah, he hasn't been announced for the film. But I don't know. Maybe an end credits cameo for Secret Wars. Who the hell knows? But he's holding up the Spider-Man from the year 2099. I wonder if he'll show up in Secret Wars, albeit very briefly. But whatever. Hell yeah. Yeah, for Jimmy Kimmel. Because Jimmy Kimmel should be allowed to lie about, people. Anyway, there you go. The boss said, hey, stupid. Don't pull that crap with the audience of Marvel. I guess. I don't know. Feige doesn't seem to really give a damn. Look at the crap he rolled out. Well, that does look like a face of desperation, though. Please come to the movie. We'll sign your toys. Yeah. Well, great going, Oscar. Hey, remember Kang Dynasty? No, probably not. But anyway, that was supposed to be the big new Avengers movie until it turned into Avengers Doomsday. Well, a lot of stuff happened. Or kind of didn't happen, So, of course, Jonathan Majors was introduced as Kang, actually in the Loki show. And then on in Ant-Man Quantumania. And that flopped. Apparently, the Loki show was actually their most popular D+ series. It's the only one to get a second season, so, yeah. But then Jonathan Majors got in a fight with his girlfriend and everything went south and they decided, hey, let's just scrap all that and do Dr. Doom. Okay. I mean, especially when they introduced the whole point is there's so many different variants throughout time of Kang. It wouldn't be hard to just recast him. Yeah. In fact, you could have multiple actors play the role. But whatever, they didn't do it. So anyway, before Marvel scrapped Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and reworked its plans for the multiverse saga, the film reportedly had a very specific role. Set up total failure. So kind of like Infinity War, where the Avengers lost at the end. Yeah, see, it's the same. Let's do another one of those. So they had to figure that out, how to do it. But anyway, rather than serving as a massive crossover on the scale of Endgame, the movie was designed to be a more focused story that would directly lead into Secret Wars. According to rumored details, the Kang Dynasty was never meant to end with a win. Yeah, like Infinity War. It was supposed to show why the multiverse was doomed. See, they still could have used Doomsday in the title. The story reportedly centered on the Time Variance Authority. You're thinking, what the hell's that? Well, if you saw Wolverine and Deadpool, you probably thought, it's those guys. Well, they were actually introduced in the Loki show. But I know you probably didn't see it. But odds are that's the one anyone saw. So anyway, centered on the TVA, discovering that certain individuals across the multiverse were anchor beings, just like in the Deadpool Wolverine movie. These characters were believed to be so deeply tied to their respective realities that their survival was essential to keeping those universes intact. Again, just like Deadpool and Wolverine. The TVA's plan was to gather these anchor beings, no, they're not newsmen doing the news, but as a last-ditch effort to stop the growing threat posed by the Council of Kings. Tom Holland's Spider-Man was said to be the anchor for Earth 616, while Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man filled the same role for their respective universes. The film's emotional core was reportedly built around Peter Parker, with Holland's Spider-Man taking on a leadership role, despite still dealing with the fallout from No Way Home. He really misses MJ, you know. Unlike Secret Wars, which was always planned as the massive crossover event, the Kang Dynasty was intended to be smaller in scope. The focus was reportedly on a select group of anchor beings. Yeah, 3 Spider-Man and, Wolverine and Ghost Rider. So anchor beings from the entire MCU roster. Rumored characters included Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, again, and Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider, both treated as critical pieces in the TVA's desperate strategy. Just like the MCU's desperate strategy. The idea was to keep the story personal, character-driven, and tightly connected to the multiverse concept, rather than overwhelming audiences with endless cameos. Yeah, it's great, man. Oh, yeah. See? If you go look at the Avengers Doomsday poster, it's not like this, but it's similar, like this window, like, so it's a different design, so maybe they'll address this in the Doomsday, like Kang's plan, Dr. Doom stole it out from under him or something, I don't know. Anyway, the biggest twist in the rumored plot was that the heroes were never meant to succeed. Despite the TVA's efforts and the power of the anchor beings, the Council of Kings would ultimately win. That failure was said to trigger the collapse of the multiverse itself. Entire realities would begin to fall apart, leading Kang to create Battleworld, a patchwork realm formed from the remnants of destroyed universes. This catastrophic ending was designed to roll directly into Avengers Secret Wars, where surviving heroes and multiverse variants would converge for one final conflict. Marvel ultimately abandoned the Kang Dynasty following major behind-the-scenes changes and the Jonathan Majors scandal. Anyway, including the studio's decision to move away from Kang as the central villain. The film was retooled into Avengers Doomsday, shifting focus toward Dr. Doom, while still reportedly keeping elements of the Battleworld concept alive. One wonders if there were more in-credit scenes of Kang in other movies, but after his scandal, that was all scrapped too, you know. In some of those dumb movies that rolled out for a while there anyway. If these rumors are accurate, and they probably are, the Kang Dynasty would have been one of the darkest Avengers films ever made. A deliberate loss designed to reset the MCU and erase much of the post-Endgame timeline. Well, they need to do that no matter what. Apparently they're still sticking to that idea with, Doomsday. So anyway, this was from My Time to Shine. So they're the ones who got the whole plot. So there you go. Blah, 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 blah. The Spider-Man, Wolverine, Ghost Rider. Probably toss in a few others. I don't know. Maybe bring back Channing Tatum as the Gambit. Stuff like that, And off they go to defeat the Council of Kangs. Only to get their asses handed to them. Maybe one or two of the Spider-Men would die, and then they end up on Battleworld, and all the other heroes are there, and oh my goodness. So, taking from the Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars instead of the Jim Shooter one, and stuff like that. And instead of the Beyonder having any involvement at all, it was going to be Kang doing it. Yeah, sure. And now I guess it'll be Dr. Doom doing it. Yeah. But the thing of it is, they'd laid groundwork. There was setup for Kang. It didn't work, and they were, so now look, it's Robert Downey Jr. behind the mask, and yeah. Anyway, what might have been? Yeah, nobody was taking to those crappy movies, Well, and even Ant-Man Quantumania was the least offenders in a lot of ways. The Marvels, it was terrible. And before that, you had like crap like the Eternals and stuff like that. Just funny thing has happened over at Marvel Comics. They're in a newly announced limited series, a full ongoing series was never really in the cards. They kept trying, but, Carol Danvers is returning to her original identity as Ms. Marvel, complete with the classic look Marvel once abandoned. The move comes after years of pushing Captain Marvel front and center across comics and the MCU, a push that clearly failed to stick. The irony isn't subtle. Marvel's own tagline for the series says it all. Oh, I thought that was a joke. Higher, further, forgotten. See, they even tried to give her like a Sgt. Pepper jacket. Yeah. See, this one was always better. Now, her first one was cute, too, the suit she had, but this is the one everyone mostly remembers, Yeah. So anyway, Carol Danvers was Ms. Marvel for decades before Marvel rebranded her as Captain Marvel. The original plan inside Marvel was reportedly to bring back the real Captain Marvel during Secret Invasion, restoring the legacy properly. That plan was scrapped because that would mean bringing a man. The original was the man to the character. You just can't do that. Yeah. Anyway, instead, Marvel elevated Carol Danvers into the Captain Marvel role and then introduced Kamala Khan as the new Ms. Marvel. The change synced up perfectly with Disney's MCU strategy, which positioned Brie Larson's Captain Marvel as their planned cornerstone character. Well, that strategy didn't age well. No, sorry, girls. It just didn't work, Captain Marvel grossed $1 billion at the box office, but the timing did most of the work. That's right. The movie was sandwiched between Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, riding peak MCU momentum. Yeah, and don't give me this crap. Hey, Ant-Man 2 was in between there too. Yeah, that doesn't work because Infinity War ended on a teaser for Captain Marvel. Pretty much insinuating, you got to watch Captain Marvel before you go to Endgame, because you'll be lost. What is this? What? Oh, you got to find out. And then turns out, you didn't need to watch it at all. She shows up in Endgame, but yeah. So once that momentum vanished, reality set in. The Marvel, starring both Brie Larson as Captain Marvel and Iman Vellani as the DP Ms. Marvel series didn't fare any better, although it's a good show. It's actually a very good show. But yeah, no one was interested. Nobody from the comics liked the Kamala Khan character. Another tokenized, exploited for skin and genitals character thrown in there. And if you didn't like her, then you were all kinds of folk, And so that was the deal, and that's that. So the poor show never had a chance, even though it was pretty good. The Marvels, hell, no. It wasn't any good. So same for Marvel Zombies. Viewership was weak and interest dropped fast. Marvel tried to force a new status quo and fans rejected it across the board. Yeah, you can't just throw it out there. You got to build on that. And these legacy characters, woke lecture, sermon and all that, and I got to show up using them this way. Now for they need to retcon her to give her own superhero name and stuff like that, and go from there. Plus, the TV show did it better with the powers. She doesn't stretch and stuff. It just always looked kind of goofy. I don't know. And they weren't making her a comical character. I mean, there was, silly kid stuff in the stories and the comics and whatnot. And I mean, she is a funny character in the TV show, but she has better powers in it. So I guess try to make it more like that. But the deal's done. She was never a star character. And you ruined any chances for her to catch Frank Cho doing some art on her. It's particularly good to look at. But ultimately, just didn't catch on. Couldn't hold her on. And that's just the way it is. So now Marvel Comics is hitting reverse. Probably too late. But anyway, Captain Marvel, Dark Past is a 5-issue limited series that sends Carol is forced to confront her time as Ms. Marvel, embarrassed that, her butt cheeks hung out. Are they going to deal with that story where she got mind controlled by this weird, creepy perv guy, and he took her away to another dimension, but she was forced to be his wife and stuff, and then she finally escaped, and she was mad at the other Avengers that didn't come rescue her, and they said, "Well, we thought you were in love with the guy." He says, "No, he mind controlled me." And they're like, "Oh, whoops." So I mean, yeah, you can understand her being really pissed off about that. You could do that, but I don't know. They've retconned so many ways, and now she's actually she's not even human anymore. She's also a member of the Kree. When the original origin was, it was some weird shenanigans where, Marvel's DNA merged with hers and she got the powers, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so who the hell knows what this is about? You want to know what a dark secret about her past is? When she murdered Tony Stark and she became a fascist and turned Kamala Khan into a member of her Carol Danvers youth, No? No. But yeah, she did that. But don't worry, they cloned him, so he's still alive. But he isn't. The clone is just a clone. I did they time warp that and fix it? Anyway, and yes, the classic Ms. Marvel costume is back as well. Maybe we'll see Brie Larson sporting the suit of the MCU. Well, if her Instagram pictures are any clue, she seems like she wouldn't mind. She does love showing off her butt. And she does have one. When they don't dress her up in a man's, suit. Yeah, she's got a nice little booty. Anyway, the series is written by Paul Jenkins, returning to Marvel alongside his upcoming Century project with art by Lucas Werneck. Jenkins openly acknowledges Carol's long history as Ms. Marvel, Warbird, and Binary, but come on, Ms. Marvel's the better name than those other two. Calling it rich material worth revisiting and also seeing if there's any interest. I guess I'll have to check this out. If it's any good at all, I'll give it some praise. I don't think it matters. I think Marvel's done, but had they done this 5 years ago, it might have helped out. And and it's people like this version. It's outsold the other crappy, Captain Marvel titles. But anyway, Marvel can spin this as a character study all they want, but the timing says more than the press release ever could. After years of pushing Captain Marvel and Kamala Khan, Marvel is once again betting on the version of Carol Danvers fans actually supported. Well, again, they supported her as a supporting character of the Avengers. And eventually X-Men with the whole Rogue thing and all that. But, carrying her own book, she never really did. I mean, for a while here and there, but, she was never going to reach the heights of Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four and stuff like that. But, better off being Ms. Marvel than Captain Marvel. And that's true. By the way, the whole embarrassing thing was the actual first female Captain Marvel was a black woman in the 80s. Monica Rambeau. And they suddenly, oh shit. And they hurriedly, forced her into the story and shoehorned her into the Marvels. Too late. all their preaching and stuff, and you forgot the woman of color. That's hilarious. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'll look at it. Can't promise anything, though. James Gunn shoots down Batman rumors. Same exact script from the beginning. I don't know what this is about. Let's find out. James Gunn has shut down new rumors surrounding Matt Reeves' The Batman Part Number 2, calling the claims flat out wrong. The DC Studios co-head responded directly to speculation circulating online from a fan that Reeves originally planned a realistic Clayface for the sequel, but was forced to change villains after Gunn introduced Clayface in Creature Commandos. The rumor also claimed this alleged shift caused delays in writing the script. Gunn dismissed it outright. He's like, the bull crap in this studio is this high now. Really? Yeah. Anyway, replying to a fan on Threads, Gunn appeared baffled by where the rumor even came from. What? Giggled Tee-hee. Where does this stuff come from? No, it's the exact same script it has been from the beginning, Gunn. Well, how would you know? Because he only just recently handed it in. I mean, did he give you some details about what it was going to be and stuff? And then when you finally get it, you read it, and he's like, yep, sounds like what he had planned to do all along. But that response directly contradicts claims that Reeves had to scrap or rework his plans due to DCU overlap. Gunn even later responded he only heard the rumor from the one fan. What rumors? I still haven't heard this except for this one guy. Well, the Clayface being in the movie that's been rumored for a long time. And people speculated that, the original Clayface could fit in with the grounded, more, real world take on Batman that Reeves is doing. Because he didn't have all the shape-shifting powers. He's just a guy in makeup. But, it's not the case. Or if it was, then they dropped it. I don't know. But Gunn saying, that never happened. I mean, theoretically, you're going to have two Batman eventually anyway. Why not have two different versions of Clayface? The fantastical one in DCU and the original, more reality-based one in the Batman. But anyway, whatever. The speculation suggested that Reeves was told to abandon Clayface because the character debuted in the animated Creature Commandos series, which is part of Gunn's DCU continuity. According to Gunn, that never happened. Now, it's possible there because Creature Commandos was in the works before Gunn even, I'm pretty sure. Because the timing, it was all set up. He was working on that cartoon coming out of his Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and all that before the big turnover happened, and he becomes the boss of DC Studios, and the DCU becomes the new continuity, whereas DCEU was scrapped. So he was already working on this cartoon, so I would assume Clayface was always going to be a part of it. But then the Batman Part Number 2 remains part of Reeves' standalone universe, separate from the DCU. And Gunn's comment reinforces that Reeves has maintained creative control over his story from the start. Well, the DCU Clayface movie gets released on September 11th, 2026. Yeah, it'll come and go, and probably won't have any bearing on anything. Matt Reeves' The Batman Part Number 2 starts filming early next year and will be released in theaters on October 1st, 2027. It should be a big showdown between Batman and the Penguin, but apparently that's not the case. They're talking about a female Two-Face, and I don't know. Jeez Louise. Yeah, Clayface would have been a better get, too. I don't know, but Anyway, that's the deal. I don't know. I was more of the opinion about whether or not how things would go with Batman depended on the Penguin, but also the performance of Superman, which wasn't great. So, Matt Reeves is probably in a bit more comfortable position for the time being. I mean, if he screws up the Batman #2, especially since that first one wasn't all that great either. Not really. Then, he's out. But they early on said, hey, we got a plan B if DCU doesn't work. And I'm guessing it's just Matt Reeves' Batman movies. So it could be that. So I don't know. It's hard to know about Gunn. Is he telling the truth? Is he not? But yeah, he probably is on this one. The next one, I don't know. Anyway, there you go. Oh no. Creature Commandos YouTube stream bombs with only 300 viewers. Episodes already pulled? Really? They pulled it? They just put them up there. They just dumped them all for free on YouTube. And it only got 300 viewers? Ooh. The YouTube marathon for Creature Commandos has turned into another embarrassment for James Gunn and the DCU. Viewers on social media reported the live airing peaked at only about 300 concurrent watchers, numbers you'd expect from a small fan channel, not a YouTube channel with over 5 million subscribers, and certainly not for an official DC rollout meant to hype Gunn's universe. The turnout lines up with what we already knew. Creature Commandos failed to make the Nailsin streaming charts during its HBO run, confirming it was one of DC's least watched originals. Gunn's Peacemaker on HBO also lost nearly 40% of its viewers. Oh no. Oh boy. It's not that bad of a series. It's got its problems, don't get me wrong. But so far, what Gunn's delivered, it's probably his best effort. Adding to the strange rollout, the episodes no longer seem to be available on DC's official YouTube channel. Oh well. Too late to go try to save it, I guess. There doesn't even seem to be a link to the feed anywhere online. As of now, the channel only shows the Superman Fortnite live stream in the live section with no trace of the Creature Commandos marathon streams. Whether the videos were pulled due to low interest, technical issues, or to avoid public view counts is unclear, but the optics aren't great. How unclear is it? The episodes were slated to air on December 22nd and December 23rd, so we'll have to check back tomorrow. Also, this is this is the 23rd. I'm taping this. I should know what day it is anyway, and see if they return. Maybe they're available only for a limited time each day. Okay, maybe that happened. I don't know, but you should have had more than 300 views. I don't know. Creature Commandos was supposed to be the big opening act for Gunn's rebooted DCU. Instead, the series underperformed on HBO. And now even a free YouTube push can't draw more than a few hundred viewers. Gunn has repeatedly insisted his DCU is for the fans. But the numbers keep showing those fans simply aren't showing up. Now, originally, I don't think it was meant to be the opening for the DCU. That happened after the fact, but nevertheless, it's what they had, so, they threw it on there. Oh, look, Fortnite's there, yeah. Which superhero super has the best costume? Well, it's Spider-Man. Come on, we all know that. And, there we finally get a Batman? Really? I mean, design-wise and stuff, Spider-Man, well, whatever. Anyway, well, Creature Commandos. You wish you were Batman or Spider-Man, huh? Yeah. Look, it had its moments and stuff, and I think they greenlit a second season. So, which probably means it's well underway, so I guess they'll have to dump it out there. But, geez. That's just overall already brand damage to DCU. It just means no one is interested in it. I mean, you did a lackluster Superman, and then you followed that with that horrible Peacemaker season number 2. Yeah? And it looks like the damage is way worse than one could suspect. But hey, maybe it was a glitch and it's back up there. I'm too lazy to go check. So, hey, look, if it's there, did you go watch it? Did you watch it live? And you thought, not bad. Maybe. It's got political crap in it. It's not as bad as Peacemaker number 2. And it's way better than that. So, and there's some fun stuff in the show. So, but if this is the case, then, it's a long ways till Man of Tomorrow, and not enough to do it. Supergirl, I don't think is gonna change anything. And then Clayface is just a Batman character in a horror movie. A Batman movie with no Batman. Yeah. Don't expect that to help in any way. And Lanterns, oh boy, that's sounding worse and worse all the way. And then Man of Tomorrow. By the time you get to Man of Tomorrow, it's probably over. Maybe Man of Tomorrow is excellent. Be about right. But too little, too late, probably. Well, Stranger Things is coming to an end. So they split their finale, into whatever. So the remaining episodes, well, they'll start rolling out this Christmas. Yeah, the girls seem upset about that. Huh. Well, anyway, Ross Duffer has revealed the official run times for Stranger Things 5 Volume Number 2, confirming that the final chapter of Netflix's hit series will end with a feature-length finale. Volume 2 premieres on December 25th. Hey, that's Christmas, with the series finale arriving on New Year's Eve. Well, it's just a great holiday special, isn't it? The second half of the final season includes 4 episodes, each running well over an hour. Chapter 5, Shock Jock. Is Anthony Cumia in it? Chapter 6, Escape from Camazotz. Chapter 7, The Bridge. Chapter 8, The Right Side Up. Oh, get it? The upside down, And so now they're going to the right side up. Oh, well, that's the normal world, I guess. But anyway, the finale clocks in at 2 hours and 8 minutes, making it the longest episode in the show's histoire. So anyway, there you go. He's got the run times. Oh, boy. Yeah. So anyway, the extended run time lines up with what the Duffer Brothers have promised, a full-scale conclusion to the Upside Down saga. With Will's powers emerging, spoiler, yeah, he's got powers, Vecna pushing toward a new world, and Hawkins on the brink, the final episode is being positioned as a cinematic send-off rather than a standard TV finale. So later on they can have reunion movies and stuff. The Wrath of Vecna and stuff like that. Anyway, combined with Volume 1, Stranger Things 5 is effectively ending as a multi-part movie event, with Netflix giving their creators room to resolve every major storyline. So, yeah. So anyway, Stranger Things began with one missing kid in Hawkins. It's ending with a 2-hour finale designed to close the door on the Upside Down for good. So they all end up right side up. Isn't that nice? All right, well, there you go. For Christmas, you get the end of Stranger Things. Yes. Yes.
The only good superhero movie is 1994's Blank Man. Prove me wrong.
All right, can you hear me now? Let me switch over to live. And it's no sound. Oh, there it is. So I guess it's like the what do you call it? Yeah, the super tip page. Why is it shutting me down? I mean, I better know. I probably had the thing lined up wrong. I mean, I'd have to go back to it to make sure, and that would cut off the sound. But then again, maybe I should check it out. Um, you do it like that. You move it up above everything else, except not the web source, I wouldn't think. And maybe that would work. So I don't know. Yes, can hear you now. Sound okay? You're back. We need you 5x5. Huh? Well, why isn't the super tip thing showing up on this? I guess if I have to remove it, and then I probably wouldn't be hurt. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah. Strange. That's weird. Bizarre. That's bizarre as all get out. But anyway, at least you got to hear the super tip, you know? And that's what matters. So, all right. I guess the only thing left to do now is for the Spider-Man. Why is it? Oh, I need to turn the light on. Yeah, it's acting up. It's making all these weird little, like little. Oh, now it's doing even. Nope. There. All right. All right. All right. That ought to work. So, those videos will be put out individually at some point. Probably the one about Netflix and Paramount I will do rather shortly. And I've got ready-made artwork for all of them to be like off in the corner. So, you know, right around here, you see a little figure sitting there going, "Hey, look at me. I wanted the characters. And Doug drew a picture of me." Or a Photoshop thing, something like that. But for the Spider-Man one, about his trailer and what's her name possibly being Jean Grey, there is someone did a pretty good AI image of her as Jean Grey, but it's someone else's work, and I don't know the deal. So decided, well, I'm just going to have to draw the character, and we'll try to go with that. And so she might appear when I put this video out with Spider-Man and herself in the corner of the video. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Check the flux capacitor and or the dilithium crystals. Yeah, I'm all out. Yeah. St. Ranger says 1 to 5 on signal strength and 1 to 5 on clarity. 5x5 is best possible. What? You mean you're not hearing me that well? Well, it's the direct line to the mic, so. And I heard it. I mean, I checked out. I go to the Rumble, and it's coming through. As I start to draw, my head will be closer to the drawing sheet so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm always trying to get it if it'll point in the direction, and then perhaps it'll, you know, the deal. You'll be able to hear it. But anyway, look here. You're going to see me draw. See, isn't that something? Sure. All right. So, going to go with this Photoshop version. I don't even know if the movie would go for a look like this, but it probably would. Because with the exception of characters like Spider-Man or Superman, stuff like that, most of the comic book characters almost never look like their comic book selves, you know. And so that's the deal, so you usually can just sort of imagine it's like you're dressing them up for some sort of science fiction thing, if that. Which I don't, some of these superhero, at least most of them, they kind of are a possible cause for the revelation of mutants. But as time went on, it was obvious, you had mutants for much earlier periods of time. Plus, you got Professor X, who, you know, was obviously older, or much older than the atomic age. So, how do they explain that? So eventually it was just, hey, it's one of these things that happens. You know, sometimes people are just average idiots, and some of them, well, they can fly around, they can read minds, they can turn into ice, they can shoot laser beams out of their eyes. Oh boy, it's all kinds of fun. Yeah, it's great. Some of them become magnetic and they want to rule the world, and they just start killing people all over the place. But after a while, they feel bad about it, and they're like, hey, my childhood was really awful. And so, all right, give them a second chance. Stuff like that. Yeah, sure. Let's see. The X is here. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've seen this design before, where the X forms on the boots. They might do something like that. Probably not, though. But odds are she's not going to be in a X-Men suit of any sort in the Spider-Man movie. They'll do that when they move on to their Spider-Man, X-Men movie. And there was an earlier article about they may have already cast the Scott Summers character, and some, it's all rumor, but nevertheless, some indication that even he might show up in the Spider-Man movie. Oh, yes. Well, once they cast Sadie Sink, people thought, oh, wow, they're actually going to have the real Mary Jane show up. No, you're not getting that. No. And it's like, it's too bad. She looks the part. Because, red hair and all that. Well, with red hair, she looks the part of Jean Grey. So it's, you got that going for her. They finally let a redhead, play a redheaded character. Who'd have thunk it? You thought you'd never live to see the day. Especially not from a Disney and or Marvel movie, And yet, well, here it is. It's as if there was some tonal shift. As if suddenly something happened and people began to realize, hey, this crap we were doing doesn't make any money. Yeah. What the hell? I can't understand these. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I don't have to copy it exactly. It's just some sort of. This really isn't like any of the suits she's ever worn. I don't know. Something like that. I don't know. Oh, yeah, there was some sort of plating there. And doubt any of this serves any real purpose, but there we go. She has some sort of thing
Here, this doesn't look, again, like any of the suits. I don't know if they would want to do the costume from the 90s that they had. That was featured in the cartoon series, so, maybe they'll do that. Here goes here, here goes there, everywhere, here, there. And that's pretty much the deal. So, I don't know why they would want to introduce her as some sort of potential threat to Spider-Man. Unless they've already got some sort of narrative that the mutants are already being hunted and stuff like that. So maybe that would be the deal. Something. Alright, it's too small to do her face justice. So basically, we'll fix that later in Photoshop. So I'll draw the face a little larger so I can place that on the figure later. Yes. All right. Eyebrows. Typically, the eyebrows go above the eyes. I mentioned that just in case anyone's unaware of that. You never know. Perhaps some would not be aware. I'm always thinking and being considerate for those not in the know. Well, I done screwed that up. That's not right. All right, let's try this again. Damn it. All right. And the nose. Uh-huh. All right. There's a little bit thicker eyebrows here. And then the lips. Uh-huh. And there's a little bit smaller than that. I don't know. Okay. And there we are. And that, maybe not that low. Maybe there. It's looking a little too much like Scarlet Witch, but something like that. Anyway, and then we'll go ahead and put the hair there. And oh wait, it had, yeah, okay. Didn't realize it did that. All right. Okay. Dun-dun-dun. That'll be the image of, the Jean Grey image. Hearing you fine. Good. You are at best possible now. Exactly. You're good. Audio perfect. Good, good, good. She already looks very healthy. Well, yeah. A good singer or underwater swimmer? Huh? Don Jr. the second says, Dub. St. Ranger. Now she looks less healthy. Well, what are you going to do? Her boobs aren't large enough. Well, she's. I'm not really going to mess with that. She's um, a young actress. So, anyway, I'll show you the. Will it show up? There we go. There's the photoshopped image. So you see, that's what it's based on. It's by someone named, I think it was Mr. AI something. I don't know. I don't know that they prompted. I thought some of them that you couldn't use likenesses or whatever, but that's definitely her face. And maybe it's a little Photoshop after the fact. I don't know. But anyway, that's their attempt at a Jean Grey uh, costume. And so, I could draw it and have her stand. This is one I'm put together for the, what might have been with King Dynasty, and there's the other Spider-Man and Wolverine and Big King. Oh, well, that'll never happen. So anyway, there's uh, whoever did this, an idea for a Jean Grey, um, I don't know, X-Men super suit. You know, cool, huh? Isn't that great? Yeah, it's magnificent. It's just the greatest thing you've seen since sliced bread. Oh, I forgot the little. There's kind of a, I don't know, a yellow section here. It, I don't know. Maybe that's important. Yeah, what do I know? So anyway, there you go. Jean Grey, maybe might be uh, coming to a theater near you soon, or maybe not. I don't know. It depends on how well these movies do, and they might just give up on the whole damn thing. And in that case, the backup plan is always, all right, look, we're just going to make Spider-Man movies for Warner, or well, whatever Warner Brothers becomes. The DC movies will just be Batman. That's what they'll do. It's just the way it is, and you just can't have nice things. But at one time, you can always look back, and there was a time where the entirety of a comic book universe was on screen. Yeah, it was very brief. Why did it all come to an end? Because people are stupid, got full of themselves, like they always do. And but terrible things happen, and the hope is, hey, you learn from it. I'm kidding. They're not going to learn jack squat. But it would be nice, wouldn't it? You don't want the lessons of history to be repeated all throughout eternity, do you? Well, it will. Yeah. But didn't you pay attention? Didn't you learn? Oh. Well, I mean, maybe some here and there. It would be nice. It would. It would indeed. Yeah, yeah. Probably screwing this all up now. But I gotta put the ink on. Not sure why she would need. I mean, what's the point of having gloves if the fingers are. I don't know. I probably should have just come up with my own idea. But I got lazy, you know. And I thought, hey, he's already got the actual actress's face on the figure, so that makes it easy. Again, the laziness. But, hey, I'm owning up to it. That's got to count for something. So, there we go. Jeez, I really screwed that up. That's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. Oh, really? Alright, she parts it there. We'll have it go up there. Here's her, I don't know, tiara, whatever the hell it is. I don't know if they'd bother to. Hey, this actually accentuates her mental powers. Really? No. I just thought it would look cool. Really? No. Yeah, I'm just not getting any of it. All right, so, yeah, this will do. And I'd better be quick about putting those videos out. Otherwise, by the time I do, it's crappy old news, It doesn't matter. But I don't know. Everybody's going to be busy with Christmas and all that stuff. It's like I've heard tell it's a big deal. Oh, yes. All right. There we go. Well, doesn't look anything like her at all. But you know what? I tried. I sure did. I sure did. Well, that's just great, isn't it? Yes. Yes. All right. Saint Ranger, kidding. Don't make them like karmic singing volleyball women. Yeah, I see. Not doing that. Saint Ranger, do you use the Grok picture to video feature? Yes, I've used it a couple of times for, especially for the New York Post stories, videos, and cartoons I've done for New York City Crime Report. A couple of those. So exactly what I did. And sometimes with the Photoshops, others, and some with the. No, I didn't do it with cartoons yet. I really need to think about that. I tend to just do that on my own, frame by frame and stuff. But I did use the background, and I had this like vagrant. Another guy was in the story was he was getting rid of a body, and it was in a bag with the leg sticking out. And threw that in there and had, got it to where the guy walked around and stuff. And it was a couple of those. And some of the crime scene photos, you can make those and everybody starts moving and stuff. So, yeah, done a couple of those. I enjoy getting the program to draw things it usually won't, like hacking a video game computer. Saint Ranger 19 says, Dalai Lama says, lose, but do not lose the lesson. Well, I suppose, yeah, when you lose, and you're like, you're supposed to learn, well, I won't try that again because I just lost. still other people just keep losing, and they'll do the exact same thing. You know, I don't know. Dalai Lama is a big fan of the theory that if the insanity is, the definition thereof would be you keep doing the same maneuver, expecting different results. They don't learn either. Why won't people learn? Because they're stupid. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? I don't know. Just be miserable about it, or just move on, cut them loose, get on with their life, Oh, well, anyway, there we go. Oh, boy. Didn't we have so much fun? Well, I did the best I could, Anyway, thanks for the super tip. Thanks for watching my Nailsin ratings videos and me drawing Jean Grey. Since I went through the trouble, she'll probably be revealed as some other character. I mean, they're going to do, or that's the plan. They're going to do new X-Men movies, but I don't know. Will it be this girl in it? I don't know. Yeah, it probably is. Odds are, Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway, there you go. Again, thanks for watching. I'll think of something else later. Probably, geez. Well, that's the idea, that I will do a live stream in the night. Yes, that would be wonderful. St. Ranger, we gave them books. They ate the books and then ate the teacher. Good Lord. Wow. So the teacher was dessert? Man. I can't imagine the books were, well, I mean, did they cook the teacher? I don't know. I suppose some of the books, based on their size, could fit in a toaster. Yeah, at least that. I wouldn't recommend it, though. Anyway, talk to you guys next time around. Oh, yeah.
Pop goes the culture. Pop, 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 pop goes the culture. Myths and legends, grants and escape to heaven. A darker, taller tale gives a tour of hell. Pop goes the culture. Pop goes the culture. Pop, 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 pop goes the culture.
As the song goes, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Turns out that was truer than most realize. People think Spider-Man shoots webs out of these devices on his wrists that he invented. This is true, but he also naturally shoots webs out of his ass. But webbing wasn't very practical, so he made the wrist things. However, sometimes, especially after a bout of diarrhea, Spider-Man ended up with his ass glued to the toilet seat. So when Dr. Octopus robs a bank or the Green Goblin bombs a hospital, people ask, where the hell was Spider-Man? Turns out he was stuck on the potty.